Hello everyone, Meteorologist Jordan Darensbourg here at just after noon. We're about 15 minutes after noon, and yes, we're still expecting to be bitterly cold throughout the course of the day. So let's go ahead and let's break everything down for you as we talk about our weather headlines. Yeah, we are bitterly cold for today, but we've got a couple of different advisories I do want you guys to be aware of, and light freezing rain is expected. This is only going to be light accumulation, and I'll break down how much in just a bit, but don't expect it to be anything like last year or 2021. Now let's take a look at our temperatures, and we're mainly in those mid to upper 20s area wide. We do have some lower 20s out in the hill country, but I do think LaGrange may try to make a run at that freezing mark. But wind chills, still those low to mid teens and upper teens out in the coastal plains. That's that feels like temperature, how it feels on your body. It just does not feel good, especially with that brisk northerly wind. Now, as we continue to go hour by hour, we're going to continue to see this pattern hang around for just a little bit. I do want to remind you that there is a brief window later this afternoon where some areas south and east of Austin could get above freezing. But as we head into overnight hours of tonight into early Monday morning, I want y'all to pay very close attention to this because there is that possibility of that light freezing rain. However, as we head into Monday afternoon, that freezing rain is expected to dissipate, and there could be winds that could result in some of that sublimation. And sublimation is when that ice, that freezing rain that accumulated on those elevated surfaces like those bridges and overpasses will be evaporated straight into the atmosphere without actually melting, and the winds actually help to dissipate that. But watch this as we head into Tuesday morning. Yes, we are looking at single-digit wind chills, and there could be some spots, especially out in the western fringes of the hill country, that could have wind chills below zero. So not only are we expecting a wind chill advisory for tonight, but I wouldn't be shocked if there was one for tomorrow night as well. Now, as we head into Tuesday afternoon, this is where things get a little bit better because this model does have most of us briefly above freezing for your Tuesday afternoon if this model should verify, so we should see any melting of anything that hadn't been sublimated yet. Now, we do have that wind chill advisory I do want to remind you of. It's for everyone except Mason County, and that's going to be from 6 tonight until noon tomorrow, because we could have wind chills down to the single digits like what I talked about, and I wouldn't be shocked if there was another one for tomorrow, or maybe even a wind chill warning because of some of those areas with the below zero wind chills. Now, the winter weather advisory does include Mason County, so all of the KVUE area is under it, and it's for that same time frame because we are expecting light accumulations. Here are those accumulations as of the latest model run, and it's a little bit lesser than previous runs. Remember, I talked about a few hundredths of an inch from the get-go, and it looks like we may only get like 1/100th of an inch in spots, or maybe just 2/100ths of an inch of ice accumulation, which would amount to simply a light glaze. So the cold temperatures and those dangerously low wind chills, those are going to be our main issues. So the 4 Ps are going to be so important. Make sure you are bringing your pets inside. Make sure your pipes are warm. Make sure you have them covered. A Whataburger for those spigots, a Whataburger cup for those spigots definitely will do. And you also want to make sure your plants, your smaller plants are brought inside, and those larger plants are covered. I saw that on the way to Mass this morning. Some of the plants that were outside some of the restaurants, they were covered. Good on those restaurant owners for doing that. And then people. Make sure that you are a good neighbor. Make sure you're checking on your elderly neighbors and making sure everyone has adequate warmth throughout the course of this event. Speaking of, and I'm going to take this full, your 7-day forecast, and notice that we are going to be seeing likely a hard freeze, not only for possibly tonight, but likely for tomorrow night and maybe even Tuesday night as well. So make sure that on those nights that I have circled, make sure that you are taking every precaution necessary to make sure that you and your family and your loved ones, as well as your pets, stay warm. Now, before I go, I do want to stress, this is not going to be anything like 2021. It's not going to be anything like what we saw last year either, where we had all of those tree branches snapped, all those power lines down, and all those power outages for that extended period of time. It's going to be just very light icing, but we want you to be prepared, especially with the extreme cold.